Hi students, welcome to this video segment. My name is Samuel Chukwuemeka. In this video segment we shall discuss geometry, and the kind of geometry we shall talk about is plane geometry. And under this plane geometry we shall discuss angles. It is important and recommended, highly recommended, that before you begin this video, it is necessary that you view the video on Introduction to Plane Geometry. Okay, angles. Now, we have heard the word angle a lot, and we use angles a whole lot of times in the construction industry, in measurement. When we want to measure, we want to apply the degree of elevation and depression. When you're viewing something through a binoculars, when you want to project projectile motion, or you want to project a missile or an object. Now this is not North Korea, okay. not North Korea now, okay. But there are so many uses of angles, okay, and it is important that we study what is an angle and what are the types of angles we have, how do we name angles, and how do we use them. Okay, in this video actually I will be more, we shall discuss what are angles, and we shall discuss how to name angles and also the types of angles. This is just part one. Geometry is a branch of mathematics that is really long, so we shall just do it bit by bit. Okay, now what is an angle? An angle is a figure that is formed when two lines meet. When two lines meet or intersect. Meet means intersect. It is the same thing. Okay, so whenever two lines meet, an angle is formed. Okay, so when you have a line going this way and you have another line going this way, maybe this line is going this way and this line is coming this way, and then they meet at this point, then an angle is formed. When you have a line going this way and you have another line coming this way and they meet, an angle is formed, and that's the right angle. When you have a line going this way and you have another line coming this way and they meet, an angle is formed. So once the point of intersection forms the angle, when you have another line going this way and you have another line coming this way and they meet here, an angle is formed. Okay? So whenever two lines meet, meeting means intersection. That's an angle. An angle is formed. Just like you have a line as the intersection of points, you know. When you have 2 points, meet, right? It forms a line. Okay? Now when you have two lines meet, it forms an angle. Alright. Now, you can also consider it as a ray. And in physics we talk about rays, and even in mathematics also. As you can consider it as a meeting point or intersection of two rays. Two rays. I hope you still remember what is a ray. Like if you have this ray here and have this ray here, and you have the meeting point here, and this is the angle that is formed. The angle is formed. This ray 1, or maybe you can call this B, and you can call this C, and you can call this A. So we have that B and C are rays, and then A is the meeting point. This meeting point is called the vertex. That's the pointed edge. That's the meeting point, the intersection point of those rays or those lines is the vertex. And then once they meet, an angle is formed. Okay? That's another way you can define it. Alright. How do we name angles? How do we name angles? How do we name angles? Now, before we write this, there's something I want to write here. An angle is a figure that is formed when two lines meet or intersect. It can be represented, or it can be denoted, or it can be designated. It can be represented as this. Now, this is not actually, I mean, you might say it's a less than, probably. You might write it this way, like this, so that it doesn't become less than. You know, this is less than, that looks like L, less than inequality. But angle is also like this, okay? So, that's the way you represent angles. And some textbooks, now in Nigeria, you see some textbooks writing it like this. Yeah. So if you have something like angle A, you can write it like this, or you can write it like this, angle A. This means angle A. That's what it means. Okay? So some textbooks, if you see this, or this, it means angle. All right. Now, how do we name angles? You can name it. You can name angles by numbers, by numbers, angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, or you can name it by letters. Letters are not just English letters. You can have, just like you have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and the rest of them. You can have here. I would like to use Greek letters actually. Alpha, beta, theta, sigma, and the rest of them. You can also name it, you can also represent it by a combination of letters as well. Let's look at this. For example, if you have this, for instance, okay, and you have here A, and you have B here, and you have C here. Now, and this is angle. This is an angle here. This angle here, let me say maybe I write it as angle 1. I can write it as angle 1. Let me write angle 1. Now, if I want to talk about this particular angle here, I can talk about it by numbers. I'll just say, which means I'll say angle 1. Or I can name it by letters, which means I'll just say angle A. I can just write angle A. That means I'm talking about this. Because A is the vertex, and that angle at the vertex. Remember, the vertex is the meeting point or the intersection point of the two rays. Or I can name it as a combination of letters, but the symbol will come first. But if you are using this, you have to go by this rule. I can say it's what? Angle BAC, which means the A is in the middle. Or I can say angle ABC. I'm sorry, no, not ABC, I'm sorry. CAB. Because this refers to angle in the middle. Actually, if you write it this way, it means angle in the middle. So this means that I'm referring to angle A. Okay? This refers to angle in the middle. Angle in the middle, which is A. Refers to the angle in the middle. Refers to angle in the middle. And that is A. The same thing with this. Angle in the middle. Okay? Another way you can write it as a combination. As a combination is either number 3 or number 4. As a combination is, you can say BAC and you put this like this. You put it this way, you put that angle on top of A. Or you say CAB and you put this like this. This means angle in the middle as well. So if you're using this as first, you must put A in the middle. You must, because you're referring to angle A or angle 1. If you're using this as second, you must put A in the middle, or you can write it this way. So these 4 ways you can write angles. You can name angles any of these 4 ways. Now, what if I have alpha here? Because I'll be using alpha, I'll be using Greek letters. For this video presentation, I'm going to combine it, Greek letters and English letters. Now, it is important that you become familiar with some Greek letters, because the Greek did a lot of outstanding work in mathematics and physics. So we use their letters in math and physics. And also in some organizations, and I kind of ask them, hey, why do you use Greek letters in your organization, in your sorority, in your fraternity? And they don't even know. I ask some of my friends that are in fraternity or sorority, why do you use like beta, alpha, beta, sigma, or that? Why do you use Greek letters? And they don't know. Can you imagine that? They don't know why they are using what they're using. Anyway, we are using, like alpha. I can just say, instead of angle 1, I put alpha as the angle. So I'll be using Greek letters as we move on. Okay? But some folks will come here and write angle 1. It doesn't matter. Yeah, but for this video presentation, we shall use Greek letters and English letters. Okay? Alright. Usually with angles, I like using Greek alphabets. I'm not from Greece, but probably I would like to go to Greece one day. Okay, so this is how we name angles. Okay? Now, the next thing we want to do now is to discuss the types of angles that we have. Let's discuss the types of angles that we have, and then we'll do some problems. We'll do some problems right away before we call this video off. Types of angles. If I write something like this, it means types of angles. Because I said, remember I said that angle, you can represent it like that. So let me just write it fully. Now, the first one is what we call the acute angle. Acute angle. Acute angle is an angle that is less than 90 degrees. Less than 90 degrees. Acute angle. Now, the easiest way to measure an angle is with a protractor. And I'm not with a protractor here. But I'm going to illustrate it. Yeah, but easily with a protractor, you can easily draw an acute angle. It's an angle that, of course, is really less than 90 degrees. This angle. Let's say theta, angle theta. Okay? You see that theta is less than 90 degrees. So theta is acute. Okay. So you have this horizontal line here that is straight, that is horizontal, like this. Please take this as a straight line, okay? Now, the number 2, assuming you come now and you see you have this line like this, and you kind of shift it backwards. You keep shifting it backwards to this direction. You move this backwards, right? What will you get? You will get a vertical line. Straight vertical, straight horizontal. And you have a box. Like this. Let me say beta. Let me call this angle beta. Okay? Let me put these arrows like to denote ways. Now, assuming you come, let me repeat. Assuming you keep moving this backwards, you now have a straight vertical with straight horizontal, beta. This is what we call right angle. Right angle. Right angle is an angle of 90 degrees. An angle of 90 degrees. Now, note, and you can write this down. It's very important you take note. You can write it down on your paper. If in all the questions we do on geometry, in the videos that we will still do on this geometry, you will be told that it is a right angle, or you will see a small box. If you don't see this small rectangular box, do you see this small rectangular box and I wrote beta? If you don't see that box, this means that beta is 90 degrees. If you don't see that small rectangular box, or if you were not told that in the question that it is 90 degrees, please do not, I repeat, do not, I repeat, do not take it as 90 degrees. Now, if I just draw something like this, and I ask you, what is this angle? And I tell you, find angle gamma. Find angle gamma. Right? This means gamma. You know what? I probably would have written all these words that I'm saying, because some people will get confused. And I apologize if I'm using the Greek alphabets, but I want to use it here. This is alpha. This is beta. This is theta. Theta. This is gamma. This is lambda. 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 This is pi. Of course, you know pi. This is epsilon. Epsilon. This is sigma. 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 This is rho. This is tau. Tau. This is phi. Phi. It's 24 letters. Phi. This is psi. Psi. I think that is SIE. Psi. Or psi. I don't know whether it's SIE or PSI. Let me just erase it because I don't. Yeah. But it's either psi. Phi. Tau. This is yeah. These are the symbols I'm gonna use here. So that you don't get confused if I say that kappa, probably use kappa, kappa, then zeta, and the rest of them. Okay, mu, I will also use mu. Mu. Okay, all right. Now, so you see, what I was saying here is that if you are not told in the question that it is 90 degrees, and you did not see any small rectangle box inside here, do not, it is not 90 degrees. Lambda is not 90 degrees. So you see what I did here? If it looks straight vertical and straight horizontal, you look it, but you're not told. Now, if you're asked to measure the angle, okay, and you measure it and it's 90 degrees, then that's fine. Then after measuring it and it is 90 degrees, then you put the small rectangle box. But if they just told you to find the angle, right? Or they asked you a question relating to that, and they did not tell you that the angle is 90 degrees, and they did not put the rectangle box, please and please do not assume that it's 90 degrees. Honestly, do not assume that. Okay. So this is right angle. Now, what if we keep shifting this? What if we keep shifting this, right? We keep shifting it vertically. If we keep shifting this vertically, then we'll get the third angle, the third type of angle. So if we keep shifting that, then we'll have something that looks like this. Right? And I still have this as A, and this as B, and this as C. So if I have pi here, pi here, this means that pi is what? Greater than 90 degrees. Pi is greater than 90 degrees, but less than 180 degrees. So pi is what? Obtuse. Obtuse angle. So an obtuse, so the top type of angle is what? Obtuse angle. Obtuse angle is an angle that is greater than 90 degrees. Some people say obtuse, okay, but I call it obtuse. Okay, don't force me to say obtuse. It's an angle that is greater than 90 degrees. Greater than 90 degrees. If you know what I'm talking about, that's fine. But less than 180 degrees. But less than 180 degrees. Okay, so that means you have a right angle here, and you keep shifting it back, and it moves back. That means it's very, remember we started from here, acute, and when we keep moving it back, we get right, and if we keep moving it back, we get obtuse. Right, this is less than 90, this is 90, then this is greater than 90, but less than 180. So what if we keep moving this backwards? If we keep moving this B backwards, we keep moving it from the vertical, we keep moving it until it lines up as horizontal. That leads us to the fourth angle that we have. So we now have something like this, straight horizontal. This is B, this is A, and this is C. So we have this angle now. Remember, this is just two rays, B and C, coming up. Two rays, B and C, coming up. They came up first as acute. B went this way, C went this way, and they came up here as acute. Then you keep moving B, it becomes right. You keep moving B, then it becomes obtuse. Then you keep moving B here, it becomes straight. Straight angle. We call it straight angle. And let me call this epsilon. Epsilon. So we say that epsilon here is equal to 180 degrees. Straight angle on a straight line, which is called a straight angle. Angle on a straight line. So the fourth one is what we call straight angle. Straight angle, which is angle on a straight line. Straight angle is an angle of 180 degrees. Angle of 180 degrees. Okay? Now I'm just using these Greek alphabets, I'm just using them randomly. Alright, then, now, what if we keep bending this? Assuming we keep bending this, bending B. Assuming we keep bending B, right? We keep bending it. Then it will give us the next one, or we'll see what the next one will give us. If we keep bending B, or we can leave B as number 3, but let's look at the next one. Assuming we keep bending, you know it was straight, right? Assuming we keep bending B, and this is our B, this is A, this is C. If we keep bending B, then we'll have something that looks like this. We'll have this as A, and then B will be like this, right? This as B, and then this will be C. Okay, this is still obtuse. That is still obtuse, you know that, right? Now, but it's still obtuse if we talk of the interior angle. So it's not giving us the fifth one. Now the fifth one we'll get is, we'll go back to acute angles and we'll look at the exterior angle. Now let me repeat. The fifth one, which is called a reflex angle, we find out by going back to acute angle and looking at the exterior, not the interior. Because this, if we keep bending it, it will give us it will give us obtuse, which is the same thing as obtuse. So, you know, obtuse is this or this. It could be this. That's obtuse. Remember, right, you can put this as right. Okay? Now, let's look at the fifth angle. We call it reflex angle. Reflex angle. And that is just the exterior of an acute angle. You know, the acute angle is the interior angle, and then the reflex angle is the exterior. What do I mean by that? Okay, let's look at an acute angle. This is an acute angle, right? Alpha. Now, the exterior here, let's call it lambda. Let's call it lambda. You see now, angle in a circle. Angle in a circle is 360. Now, with this exterior angle, lambda is reflex. Is a reflex angle. Lambda is a reflex angle. Why do we call it reflex angle? You know, that's the exterior. It is greater than 180, but it's less than 360. Okay? Reflex angle is an angle greater than 180 degrees, but less than 360 degrees. You know what? Why don't I just write it in words? Let me write it in words. Reflex angle is an angle that is greater than 180 degrees, but less than 360 degrees. And it's just the exterior angle of an acute. Like when you have an acute angle, right? The exterior is a reflex angle, lambda. You have an acute angle, the exterior here, lambda. Lambda is a reflex angle. Lambda is a reflex angle. So, the types of angles we have: acute, less than 90 is acute. Acute, less than 90. Then we have what? Right. Right angle is equal to 90 degrees. Then obtuse, greater than 90 degrees, but less than 180 degrees. Okay, then straight angle is equal to 180 degrees. Then reflex angle is greater than 180 degrees, but less than 360 degrees. Now, that reminds me again, that's another thing. You might want to view my video on unit circle before you do this video. Yeah, if you look at unit circle, you look at the special angles, 180 degrees and 360 degrees, they are part of special angles. Okay? All right, so this is the types of angles that we have, right? Now, let's do some problems now, okay? Let's do some problems, okay? So let me erase this. Let's do some questions before we go. Okay, example 1. Name these angles in all the ways you can. All the ways you can. So let's look at an example. If we have an obtuse angle, and we have another one here. Okay, I call this A, B, C, D, and I call this alpha, beta. Okay. Name these angles. That's name alpha and beta in all the ways you can. In all the ways you can. Let's name alpha and beta. Okay, alpha, you can call it alpha, angle alpha. You can call it what? Angle BAC. You see, this is BAC. BAC. Remember, this angle is in the middle, like I said that initially. BAC. Okay? You can say it is what? CAB. CAB. You see that? Okay? And you can just call it angle alpha. You can say angle alpha. Angle alpha. Or just say alpha, because alpha is an angle anyway. So you just say alpha. Alpha is an angle. So it could be angle BAC or angle CAB. Now, some other people might write it like this, BAC or CAB, and they put this here. But for this video, I will be using just this, because this is more popular here. This is more popular, writing it like this. And then for beta, what will beta be? Beta will be what? Angle CAD or angle DAC. Angle DAC. For beta, it will be angle CAD or angle DAC. Now, how many angles do we have here? If you're asked now, how many angles do we have in this figure? We don't have only two angles. I know we have alpha, we have beta. Now, but we have the entire angle here. Okay? What if I say that this entire angle is theta? Let me call this entire angle theta. Right? The entire angle theta. So that means that theta is equal to alpha plus beta. Okay, but we're not doing calculations now. Yeah, but later on, you will notice what I'm saying. So, if I just say, okay, name theta, how will you name theta? The entire angle. It will be, you can call it angle A, because now, if you say angle A is the entire thing here, angle A. Okay? Yeah, but alpha, you can't call it angle A, no. Because what of angle B? So, when you have, and this situation is where we say that a vertex is just a point is more than one vertex. Okay, if you look at point A is a vertex to angle, to this angle B and C, and it's also a vertex to this one C and D. Point A, the same point A. So if you look at this now, point A is a vertex to raise B and C, and also is a vertex to raise C and D. So when it has more than that, then you have to be careful when naming it. Yeah. Now when we combine this, when we join this, and joining means, let me put this as maybe a dotted line, and I join this prior to the joining. If we now join this, we get this. Yeah. Now, let's finish this. You can call this angle A, or you can say what? Angle BAD. Angle BAD, because this is BAD, or angle DAB. DAB. So that's how you name the angles. That's how you name the angles. Okay? Do we do another one? Let's try another one. Example 2, I write this as example 2. Name these angles in all the ways you can. Let's find another example. Let's see where the vertex, the point is vertex to more than to several rays. let's have this, and we have this as well. Okay, this way and this way. Call this A, B, C, D, E. Okay, so how many angles do I have here? How many? If you just look at this now, tell me how many angles I have. How many? I have 1, 2, 3, and then 4. I have this angle here, this angle here. You know what? Let me be putting these angles inside it. Let me call this pi. Let me call this beta. Let me call this alpha. Let me call this tau. Tau is everything. Tau is everything. So how are we gonna do this now? How do we name this? Okay. Okay. Let's start with the angle alpha. Angle alpha. It could be angle alpha. It could be alpha, or it could be what? EAD, angle EAD, right? Or angle DAE. DAE. That's alpha. Then what of beta? Beta, you can have what? Angle DAC, DAC, or angle CAD, CAD, computer aided design. Angle CAD. Okay? Then what of pi? Pi is an angle. Now these are similar angles, you know. Alpha, this. Pi could be what? Angle CAB, CAB. Okay? Or angle BAC, BAC. That's pi. Then tau, 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 tau. Tau. This should be T. I wrote it as tau. Okay, tau, angle tau, the whole angle. Of course, you know that tau is equal to alpha plus beta plus pi. So tau will be what now? Angle A, right? Or it could be what? Angle EAB, or angle what? BAE. And that's it. That's it. Naming angles is important because as we're gonna do more videos on this geometry and solve more calculations, you need to know how to name all these angles. Okay, I think this example is okay. Now, let's now go ahead and do this figure. And this figure, probably this might be the last example we'll do. Let's identify the types of angles. Now, we've done examples on naming angles. So let's identify types of angles in this figure. And then we'll call it a day. Okay, I drew this figure beforehand so that we won't waste time on it. So I think it's time for me to clean this, erase this. Now, the question, example 3, this example 3, identify all the types of angles, all the types of interior angles in the figure by the side, not in the figure below, in the figure by the side. Identify all the types of interior angles. Now, you might ask me, what is interior angle, what is exterior angle? Good. I think I've said it now. In this case, if you have this, Theta is interior angle. Lambda is exterior angle. Interior is inside, exterior is outside. So we don't want to identify the exterior angles here. So let's just identify the interior angles, okay? Interior angles here. So we call, of course, we have a right angle here, which we shall call something soon. Here we call it, let's call it alpha. Here, let's call this one beta. Here, you know what, let me put this inside, okay? Let me put it inside. Sometimes I just put it outside. Actually, it's meant to be inside. Alpha, let me call this beta. Let me call this pi. Let me call this epsilon. Let me call this theta. Let me call this rho. And you know what? Let me write this as A, B, the vertices, A, B, C, D, E. I still have more interior angles. Now this, let me call this tau. And then let me call this phi. Yeah, we also have omega. Omega, I didn't write it, I just remembered it now. Omega. Okay, these are the exterior angles we have. Okay, let me call it, yeah, this one here, of course, this is a right angle, but it's still exterior. Let me call this omega. This is omega. And then let me call this I use alpha, beta, theta, sigma. Let me call this sigma. Each of the exterior angles, right? I think we've identified all of them. Okay. Now I didn't write this. This should be F. Yeah. Because it's a vertex here. Yeah. F. Okay, I think we've identified all of it. Okay, so I know we're not solving calculation. But if you don't mind, if you don't mind, if I can just write this. I know we're not solving calculation, but if you don't mind, let's just write this: that sigma is equal to 90 degrees, omega is equal to 90 degrees, and then beta plus pi is equal to 90 degrees. I mean, if you look at it, yeah, beta plus pi is equal to 90 degrees. Okay, all right, let's now take time and list all these, identify all the types of interior angles, you know, and name them, all the types, you know, and name them. Okay, let's start. Angle BAF. BAF is what? Is beta, and that is acute angle. Right? BAF. Angle ABF. Angle ABF is what? Alpha, and that is also acute angle. Angle AFB, Air Force Base. This is not Air Force, don't mind me. Angle AFB is sigma, and that is what? Is a right angle, right angle. Angle AFE, AFE is omega, and that is a right angle. AFE. Angle, so we've done all this, 4 of them. Then angle FAE, Angle FAE is pi. Pi is what? Acute. Now, but beta plus pi is right. Beta plus pi is right angle, but pi is acute, beta is acute. Okay? The next one. Angle what? Let's take the next one. Phi. Angle BCE. Okay? Angle BCE, because we're looking at interior angles, we're not looking at the exterior, okay? So angle BCE is a straight line, and it is what? Phi, and that is straight angle. Straight angle. Angle BCE. Angle. The next one is what now? Now, if we look at this exterior angle, then it's obtuse. If we look at this exterior angle, but that's an exterior angle. We are not interested now on that. Okay, the next one is angle DCE. Angle DCE is what? DCE is tau, and that is acute angle. Angle CDE. CDE is a rho, and that is acute angle. And then angle CED. Angle CED is theta, and that is acute angle also. Then angle what now? Angle AEF. Angle AEF. Angle AEF. AEF is epsilon, and that is acute angle. Acute angle. So all these are acute angles except a few of them. AEF. Okay. Now, if we were to talk of this exterior angle, if I just deviate from the question and I talked about this exterior angle, angle C. Angle C is obtuse if you look at the way it goes. Because this is B, C, D. Then this is the way it goes, I mean the way it went looks obtuse. But we are concerned about the interior angles, okay? And I think that is it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 10 of them. Okay? So, watch out for part 2 of this. Thank you so much for listening, students. My new website, I have a new website. www.samuelchukwuemeka.com. samuelchukwuemeka.com. My first name and last name, then .com. Okay? So this video will be there. Alright? Thank you so much for listening, students, and you have a great day.